Let's take a look at this problem. Let theta be an acute angle of a right triangle for which cosine theta is equal to 1/5. So cosine theta is equal to 1/5, and we want to find secant theta. Well, first off, remember that sine theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine theta is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. Cosecant is equal to hypotenuse over opposite. Secant is equal to hypotenuse over adjacent. And cotangent is equal to adjacent over opposite. Now they give us that cosine theta is equal to 1/5. So basically they're giving us adjacent over hypotenuse. So this is the adjacent, and this is the hypotenuse. Now normally, I may go through the steps just so you see an additional example of it, but normally we need to find all of our pieces. So the piece that's missing is the opposite. Here's theta, and here's the opposite side. Adjacent is 1, and hypotenuse is 5. So then, from our Pythagorean theorem, the hypotenuse squared is equal to opposite squared plus adjacent squared. Hypotenuse is 5, so we've got 5 squared is equal to opposite squared plus adjacent, which is 1 squared. So that gives us 25 is equal to opposite squared plus 1. Take the 1, move it over, and we get 25 minus 1 is 24 is equal to opposite squared. Drop our squared and put a square root around the other side. And then 24 is 248 times 3. We're looking for a pair of something. So here's a pair of 2's. So a pair of 2's comes out as a single 2, and we're left with 2 times 3 inside, which is 6. And that would be our opposite. Now after you have these, then you can plug them into any of these to find any of these values. Now this one was a lot easier than that. The secant, we see, is equal to hypotenuse over adjacent. Well, hypotenuse was 5 and adjacent was 1. We didn't even need opposite, did we? And that gives us 5 for our answer. And that's how you'd actually input it into the LMS too, is just 5. You could also use the fact that these are reciprocals of each other. So when you got cosine, you just have to flip the fraction, and that gives you your secant. When you have sine, you just have to flip the fraction, and that gives you a cosecant. And on tangent, you just have to flip the fraction, and that's what gives you a cotangent. But 5 is our answer.